So, it's been a few more weeks since the last vlog, and though it would be nice to promise one a week, I just can't make them that often, sorry. Part of why I can't do one of these a week has to do with all the other more or less normal things in my life, like my paid job, for instance. But there is also an aspect of my own transition journey coming into play, and that tends to influence what things I feel like talking about next. Everyone's gender transition journey is going to be different, no doubt about that. And I've phrased that quite carefully. In one of the online communities I'm in that is devoted to helping transgender people figure things out, there are dedicated channels for people who are questioning. People often find themselves resonating with some of what tells them they are trans, but struggle to reconcile everything together. Now, I realised I was trans quite quickly, but I usually have to qualify that. What actually happened quickly is that I learnt all the tools to decide in a big hurry, over a little more than a week. I'd actually been questioning for years, decades, just hadn't known it. What I'd lacked was the knowledge and the language to understand what I'd been doing. Once I had that, then everything fell into place in a matter of days. For me, that was the quick part. But not everyone has that sort of experience. A lot of people also need to go through all the self-reflection and personal history unraveling as well, which is something that I'd learned how to do years before. But when you have to learn how to do that at the same time, firm conviction is much harder to come by. So a lot of people who have newly realised they were trans often also find themselves running the gauntlet of doubts. And that can be hard, very hard. The doubts can get very strong, and then they have you questioning what you thought might have been a firm conviction. For me personally, I have broadly two tactics against the doubts. The first is addressing recollection. I've said I can find lots of examples through my life that confirmed I was always trans femme. Well, there are also good counters to all the doubts, especially the ones that you realise cis people don't do. For me, one of the classic ones is looking at other girls and women, and my response is usually, I want to look like that. If you're not trans, this is probably not going to make sense, but that's okay, because that's my response and it doesn't have to be yours. I have other examples I can tell myself too, and all of them are realizations I had when I put it all together. The type of oh moments. I had a number, quite a number. The second tactic against the doubts came a bit later for me. It comes down to answering a variation of the question, it's all too hard, what if I just stop? And that turns straight into, do I want to go back to what I was before? Not surprisingly, this is very firm no. The thing is that personally, I'm doing far more now to support and maintain and improve my health and how I look than I've ever done before, ever. I've lost weight, I'm eating better, I'm exercising more. I shave and put makeup on because I want to look that way, not just because they're checkbox items every morning. I'm so much more interested in what I wear now. I get upset I can't make my hair be what I want. Oh, another problem. I wasn't doing any of that to any much degree, much at all, before I realised I was trans femme. Certainly not for months on end. The realisation removed some boundaries I didn't know I had. Do I want to go back to before all that? When I was overweight, unfit, and just purely for comfort? Not on your life. I'm trans female. That means I can act like a girl and dress like a girl and do all the things that girls and women do, and yeah, it's a lot of work and it can cost. Sometimes a lot. But I won't give it up. Not for anything. I want this. And I'm happy for taking this path. And it turns out that's a really strong way to deal with the doubts.